Hey, it's Rhea. I wanted to talk about the 4 things I've been thinking about for self-care. So, what do you do to take care of yourself? It's something that all of us need to spend some time and think about, and most of us don't put enough time or emphasis on. We're so busy in the rest of our lives working, taking care of others, that we often neglect ourselves. So I am a body worker. I do massage and Watsu, which is an aquatic therapy. And one of the things I see a lot with my chronic pain people is that they spend a lot of time in their life taking care of others. And that can be a great technique because it allows us to focus on something outside of ourselves and our own pain and our own issues. But we're using it as a way to avoid taking care of ourselves. And I often remind people that you can't refill from an empty vessel. So you have to be full of that good energy to help share it with others. If you are depleted, if you are stressed out, if you are exhausted by the end of the day or the end of your week, you need to think about more ways to take care of yourself. So I wanted to talk about the 4 ways that I've been thinking about. The first is journaling. I have been working on the Happiness Project. This is a 5-year journal, but it's just these super short 1-sentence. There's a little quote at the top, and then you can fill in your own date and continue year after year. Just kind of a good way to check in with yourself. There's a lot of techniques for journaling. So this one, they're thinking about positivity, coming up with 1 or 2 good sentences about something that happened today. A lot of other people are into things like bullet journaling, where you're tracking something here and what's going on. Just trying it in color, but really, honestly, I can't keep up with myself. So but those are options too, to just track how you're doing over time. One thing that we know is that when we give ourselves that positive feedback, when we relive or rethink about positive events, we reinforce that positivity in our brain. And we just need more of that. So that is my first technique that I've been working on. My second technique I'm really thinking about is food and intake and what I'm putting in my body. So I was really good about this the first 3 weeks of the year because I did an elimination diet. You get rid of all of the common triggers. So no sugar, no alcohol, no gluten, no nightshade vegetables, so that's tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, no dairy. There had to be 2 other things on that list, and I'm totally blanking now. The other 2 are no soy and no chocolate. But I spent a week pre-prepping, so thinking about what I could eat as opposed to what I'm not supposed to eat. And I found some great new things that I hadn't really been using before. So I eat a lot of mushrooms. I eat quinoa. I explored some new milk alternatives because I'm definitely a dairy girl. So I tried almond milk and no soy. Maybe that was the other one. So I tried almond milk for the first time. And then thinking about some sugar alternatives. So no refined processed sugar, but I did still allow myself to use honey, and I think agave is okay still for most of the elimination diets, which is kind of picking and choosing what you're using. So being mindful of that. I also have been making a lot of fruit smoothies. So those have been great. You do 2 big handfuls of spinach or mixed greens, frozen fruit, which lately has been pineapple, but I also love blueberries, which should be in season here in about a month. I'm gonna probably pick over 100 pounds of blueberries and prep them and freeze them so that we have blueberries that last through summer for smoothies. And then whatever fruit is fresh and available. I've actually been using canned peaches the last 2 weeks because that's what we had and we needed to clear out our cupboards for new round of canning and prepping this year. And then for whatever liquid, so in a pinch I've used water, but I prefer orange juice. This last week I've been using almond milk, which makes a really nice creamy kind of smoothie. So smoothies are a fun, great way to get some fruits and you can hide your vegetables in them. So definitely thumbs up on the smoothie situation. The third thing that I have been working on is skincare. Part of the reason that I did the elimination diet at the beginning of the year is I've been getting rosacea outbreaks, which is obnoxious to be in your 30s and to suddenly have bad skin. I actually had pretty good skin through my teens and my 20s. It was just, the occasional hormonal pimple, and now I get these crazy rosacea outbreaks, which right now it looks pretty good. I had just a little bit of a remnants right in here, which was kind of weird. It broke out in a different pattern, but the first couple times I got it, it broke out right around my mouth and then along my jaw. So I honestly thought it must be a food allergy because it was related to my mouth. I was getting them every 3 weeks, and then the next time it came, it was up here around my eyes, which was just awful. Because rosacea, the skin gets really irritated. It's a form of dermatitis. So a lot of facial swelling, hot red, itchy, burny. But when this stuff tries to swell, there's nowhere for it to go. I lost my eyelids completely. They totally puffed out. I had no little tear ducts in the corners, so it was pretty miserable. I went to the dermatologist and their answer was, we don't have a good answer. You can try a You can try a topical antibiotic. If it works, then we say you had rosacea. If it doesn't work, we don't know what to do for you. So that was not very helpful. So I went and did some of my own internet research and I decided to try tea tree oil. So they say that tea tree might be too strong and irritative for that, but what I was thinking about was rosacea. There's a strong link between some of the facial mites that we have and the bacteria that either they move around our face or that they create. If you watch the YouTube videos on facial mites, they are so gross. They have a mouth and they're eating the oils and sebum off of our skin. They live around our hair follicles, but they don't have a dietary exit route. So they eat our oil until they are so fat they explode. And then they think that maybe that is what our immune system freaks out about. We don't know if they spread the bacteria or they carry the bacteria. There's some questions around that, but the melaleuca, which is tea tree, is known to help stop that bacteria. So I figured let's try it. I put 1 or 2 drops in my face wash, which is a non-soap face wash, and then I put 1 drop in my lotion, which is just a very plain, unscented, like oatmeal based lotion, just to help calm down my skin. Usually within 3 or 4 days, a rosacea outbreak goes away. I can't track it to anything in particular. It doesn't match my cycle. It doesn't match my diet. It doesn't match exposure to common things. So I really have no idea what's triggering it. But that makes me think that I need to go back and pay some more attention to what I'm putting in my body, because obviously my immune system is freaking out for some reason. So I've been thinking about that and looking at some of those healthy choices, and I know that the sugar intake needs to come down, and that's scary because you're asking me to give up milk chocolate. So yeah. The other aspect of that self-care and skincare routine has been testing some of the products I've been using. And again, they don't have any direct correlation to the rosacea, so I can't figure out if it's an ingredient in one of them. But I've been a little slow on my testing lately because I have to wait for everything to clear up, because I'm not going to put an unknown product on irritated skin. So I had to wait a couple times now, but this is the most recent one I got from Influenster, Boscia. This is a black peeling face mask, and we filmed this first, so let's cut to the face mask. And let's just see what happens. Here we go. Ooh, that came off pretty good. Let's see, where's this one gonna start? There it goes.
Ooh, look at those close-ups.
All right, the fourth thing I've been thinking about is body care. So you just think about all the mean things we do to our body. We sit at desks all day. We sit in our cars all day. We sit here on our phones. We slouch. So what do we do to keep our bodies feeling good? I personally do quite a bit of self-massage, and someone recently sent me these massage balls to check out. I like rolling them between my hands. That's a super hard plastic though. I can't squish it at all. And those nubs are hard, so I don't like to get on an individual nub. That's not very comfortable. But in between my hands, if I can run right here on my palms, those are the two spots that get really tired. I can also do down my forearms a little bit. And this is okay using one hand. It feels better actually when it's both hands. It kind of distributes that weight a little bit better for me. The single hand is a little sensitive for my hand itself. But I've also done some video with using it, making a sandwich up against the wall to work your back, or if you are flexible and movable, you can do it on the floor. So please check out my other product review of this little guy. But I do a fair amount of self-massage. So when I'm standing around, I will rub my palms, kind of getting in there to the, call this the aponeur, not an aponeur. This is the thenar eminence and the hypothenar eminence. But really getting in there and rubbing, and I use my thumb. Actually, we'll use my nail and kind of scratch along there. And you'll feel little chunky spots in there, like, ooh, just kind of hold that for a minute. I rub my fingers, just thinking about each little joint segment. Rub my forearms too. Do little squeezies. So I think though that you need to figure out what works for you. So maybe that's a nice hot bath with Epsom salts. Maybe that's self-massage. Maybe it's a yoga practice or a meditation practice. I think though that those are some of the first things that we tend to neglect and let go, and those are the things that we really need to make sure we hold on to take care of ourselves. So what are your favorite ways to take care of yourself? Leave me some comments down below. All right, thanks guys.